Hi, we have a thought for the day, and this one comes from A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. This comes from page 223. And it begins, according to an ancient Sufi story, there lived a king in some Middle Eastern land who was continuously torn between happiness and despondency. The slightest thing would cause him great upset or provoke an intense reaction, and his happiness would quickly turn into disappointment and despair. A time came when the king finally got tired of himself and his life, and he began to seek a way out. He sent for a wise man who lived in the kingdom and who was reputed to be enlightened. When the wise man came, the king said to him, "I want to be like you. Can you give me something that will bring balance, serenity, and wisdom into my life? I will pay any price you ask." The wise man then said, "I may be able to help you, but the price is so great that your entire kingdom would not be sufficient payment for it. Therefore, it will be a gift to you if you will honor it." The king gave his assurances, and the wise man left. A few weeks later, he returned and handed the king an ornate box carved in jade. The king opened the box and found a simple gold ring inside. Some letters were inscribed on the ring, and the inscription read, "This too will pass." "What is the meaning of this?" asked the king. And the wise man said, "Wear this ring always. Whatever happens, before you call it good or bad, touch this ring and read the inscription, and that way you will always be at peace. This too will pass." What is it about these simple words that makes them so powerful? Looking at it superficially, it would seem that while those words may provide some comfort in a bad situation, they would also diminish the enjoyment of the good things in life. Don't be too happy because it won't last. This seems to be what they are saying when applied in a situation that is perceived as good. The full import of these words becomes clear when we consider them in the context of two other stories that we heard earlier. The story of the Zen master, whose only response was always, "Is that so?" shows the good that comes through inner non-resistance to events. That is to say, being at one with whatever happens. The story of the man whose comment was always a laconic "maybe" illustrates the wisdom of non-judgment. And the story of the ring points to the fact of impermanence, which, when recognized, leads to non-attachment. Non-resistance, non-judgment, and non-attachment are the three aspects of true freedom and enlightened living. Those words inscribed on the ring are not telling you that you should not enjoy the good in your life, nor are they meant merely to provide some comfort in times of suffering. They have a deeper purpose: to make you aware of the fleetingness of every situation, which is due to the transience of all forms, good or bad. When you become aware of the transience of all form, your attachment to them lessens, and you disidentify from them to some extent. Being detached doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the good that the world has to offer. In fact, you will enjoy it more. Once you see and accept the transience of all things and the inevitability of change, you can enjoy the pleasures of the world while they last without fear of loss or anxiety about the future. When you are detached, you gain a higher vantage point from which to view the events in your life instead of being trapped inside of them. You become like an astronaut who sees the planet Earth surrounded by the vastness of space and realizes a paradoxical truth. The earth is precious, and at the same time, it's insignificant. The recognition that this too will pass brings detachment, and with detachment, another dimension comes into your life. Inner space. Through detachment, as well as non-judgment and inner non-resistance, you gain access to that dimension. When you are no longer totally identified with forms, consciousness, who you are, who you think you are, you become freed from its imprisonment in form. This freedom is the arising of inner space. It comes as a stillness, a subtle peace deep within you, even in the face of something seemingly bad. This too will pass. Suddenly, there is space around the event. There is also space around the emotional highs and lows, even around pain. And above all, there is space between your thoughts. And from that space emanates a peace that is not of this world. Because this world is form, and the peace is space. This is the peace of God. So now you can enjoy and honor the things of this world without giving them an importance and significance they don't have. You can participate in the dance of creation and be active without attachment to outcome and without placing unreasonable demands upon the world. Fulfill me, make me happy, make me feel safe, tell me who I am. The world cannot give you those things. And when you no longer have such expectations, all self-created suffering comes to an end. All such suffering is due to an overvaluation of form and an unawareness of the dimension of inner space. When that dimension is present in your life, you can enjoy things, experiences, and the pleasures of the senses without losing yourself in them, without inner attachment to them, and that is to say, without becoming addicted to the world. The words, "this too will pass," are pointers, and they point toward reality. In pointing to the impermanence of all forms, by implication, they're also pointing to the eternal. Only the eternal in you can recognize the impermanent as impermanent. When the dimension of space is lost, or rather not known, the things of the world assume an absolute importance, a seriousness, and a heaviness. And in truth, they do not have that. When the world is not viewed from the perspective of the formless, it becomes a threatening place, and ultimately a place of despair. The Old Testament prophet must have felt this when he wrote, "All things are full of weariness. A man cannot utter it." So that's our thought for the day. As you go through your day, be aware that this too will pass. Immerse yourself right to the eyeballs in everything wonderful and good and enjoy it as long as it lasts. And when something comes along that makes you weep, makes you feel heavy-hearted, just remind yourself, this too will pass. And that's an especially good message for the times that we're in right now. Take care and have a great day.